Hello everybody. Happy Halloween. Do you like my jack-o'-lantern costume? I hope you guys are getting some costumes together if you're gonna do any trick-or-treating this year, or maybe go to a Halloween event, or who knows. So speaking of Halloween events, Saturday on Halloween between 3:30 and 5, I'm going to be at Book Bug and in my costume, and I'll have some things to hand you if you want to come trick-or-treating to the store. Okay, and I think there are going to be some Halloween books on discount that day too, so I would love to see you there. 3:30 to 5 on Halloween. All right, let's do our opening song. Make the sign for hello, make the sign for friends. Hello friends, hello friends, hello friends, it's time to read a book. Oh, it's so nice to be together. Let's read some Halloween books while we're at it, shall we? This is called Dr. Seuss's Spooky Things. Don't worry though, I don't think you'll be too. Do you remember Thing 1 and Thing 2 from the Cat in the Hat books? Two things, here they are. Boo things. They've decided to put a ghost costume on. Dressing up for you things. What are they now? Skeletons? Things as cats. Things as bats. That would be hard if you wore a bat costume and you had to walk around upside down. Things with silly pumpkin hats. Thing 1 and Thing 2. Things that growl. Things that howl. Woo. Things that act just like an owl. Woo, woo, woo. Ooh, clean things, green things, happy Halloween things, happy Halloween things. Not too spooky, right? Our next book is, you guys know Little Blue Truck, right? So Little Blue Truck's Halloween is next, by Alice Shirley and illustrated by Jill McElmoy, I think it is. Little Blue Truck and his good friend Toad are going to a party just down the road. Beep, 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 says Little Blue. It's Halloween! You come too! Okay, shall we join them? Who's that in a tutu striking a pose up on the tiniest tips of her toes? Ooh, under the mask, who do you see? Quack, says the duck. It's me, it's me. So the duck is dressed up as a ballet dancer, right? Who's this clown with a big red nose and a cap that jingles wherever he goes? Under the mask, who do you see? Bah, says the sheep. It's me, it's me. Sheep is a clown and duck is a ballet dancer. Who's this queen with a golden crown and sparkling jewels and a velvet gown? Under the mask, who do you see? Moo, says the cow. It's me, it's me. What scraggly hair? What funny teeth? Who is hiding underneath? Under the mask, who do you see? Who's dressed up as a witch? Try not to bend these too much. Oink, says the pig. It's me, it's me. Oink, oink, oink. a fancy feather on the pirate's hat. Who's dressed up in a hat like that? Under the mask, who do you see? Cluck, says the head. It's me, it's me. A dragon's head and dragon's wings. Who's that wearing those dragon things? Under the mask, who do you see? Whoops, can't get it. Who is it? Nay, says the horse. It's me, it's me. Croak, says Toad. There's just one more. Has anyone seen this ghost before? If you've read it before, you know who that is. Oh, off comes the sheet. It's you know who. Little blue truck says, beep, beep, boo. Those are sweet Halloween stories for the younger set, aren't they? You've probably noticed some stuff over here. We are going to do a couple of pumpkin experiments in a minute. Let's read another story first, and then, well, maybe we'll read all our stories first because it might make a mess. We'll see. We'll see here. Our next book is called Leo, a Ghost Story by Mac Barnett and pictures by Christian Robinson. A ghost story. I wonder what this could be about. At the beginning it says, most people cannot see ghosts. Can you? This is Leo. Most people cannot see him. I don't know. Can you see him? I can't see much. Oh, but you can. Leo is a ghost. There he is. For many years, Leo lived by himself in a house on the edge of the city, reading books and drawing pictures in the dust. Oh, it says the house now has a sign outside that says sold. Maybe somebody new is going to move in there. What do you think? Leo was glad to have company. On the family's first night, he made them mint tea and honey toast. Leo thought he was being a good host, but the family saw things differently. So here he is Leo's making the tea and the toast, and then he's bringing it into the family, but they can't see him. So what do they think? It looks like floating tea and toast, right? They hid in the bathroom and locked the door. This house is haunted, said the man. Gary, I'm scared, said the woman. I hate tea, said the boy, and I hate ghosts. They did not know that Leo was floating above the tub. He heard everything they said. The family called in a scientist, a clergyman, and a psychic to get rid of the ghost. But they should have saved their money. Leo knew he was unwanted. He said goodbye to his home, and he left. There he goes. I have been a house ghost all my life, Leo thought. Maybe I would like being a roaming ghost for a while. So Leo roamed. That means he moved from place to place. Leo saw the city and the people who lived there. Nobody saw Leo. I think I see him right there. The city was not like Leo remembered it. Some places were wonderful. Some places were scary. Everywhere it was so noisy. Leo went to a street corner where his favorite candy store used to be. Now, nothing was there. Excuse me, he asked a police officer. Do you know where? The officer walked right through him. There was an afternoon when Leo found himself roaming along a sidewalk covered in drawings. He came across a girl holding chalk in her hand. I bet you guys have done some chalk drawings outside, right? The girl looked up and stared right at Leo. I'm Jane, she said. What's your name? It was so strange to be looked at that at first Leo said nothing. Finally he replied, "I'm Leo." Jane nodded. "Leo, do you want to play Knights of the Round Table?" "Yes," Leo said, because he did. "Good," said Jane. "First you have to get knighted by the king." "Who is the king?" Leo asked. "I am," said Jane. "That's why I'm wearing this crown on my head." Leo looked at her head. He did not see a crown. Still, he kneeled down and was knighted on the spot. Leo and Jane sat at a table. "Sir Leo," said Jane, "meet Sir Ruffs, a loyal dog. Don't you think he looks handsome in his armor?" "Yes," said Leo. He bowed at an empty chair. "And Sir Leo," said Jane, "this is Sir Muse, a loyal cat. Don't you find his whiskers wise-looking?" "I do," said Leo, and he bowed again. "And finally," said Sir Jane, "this is Sir Squawks." Leo interrupted. "A loyal bird?" Jane frowned. "No," she said. "Sir Squawks is a giant hamster." "Oh," said Leo. Well, I guess I'm not wearing my glasses." Jane squinted at the chair. "I guess," she said. "Jane," a woman's voice came from another room, "tell your imaginary friends goodbye and come down to dinner." "Fine," said Jane. She turned to Leo. "My mom doesn't think imaginary friends are worthwhile, but I think you're great." And with that, she stood up and went to the kitchen. Leo felt awful. "She thinks I am imaginary," he thought. "If I tell her I'm a ghost, I will scare her away." What to do? What to do? After dinner, Jane returned to her room and gave Leo a sword. They snuck into a cave, slew a dragon, and stole all his loot. When Leo closed his eyes, he could almost see the gold coins and green scales. After a glorious feast, it was time for bed. Jane gave Leo a pillow and a sheet. "Don't tell Sir Ruffs," she said, "but you are my best imaginary friend." "Yes," said Leo. He was so happy he couldn't sleep. Leo went to the living room so he wouldn't wake Jane with his rustling. All night he lay on the floor designing his coat of arms. And so Leo was awake when a sneak thief climbed through the window. "Halt!" cried Leo, but the thief passed through him on his way to the silverware. Later, Leo would not be able to say where the idea came from. He threw the bed sheet over himself and flew at the thief, who was so frightened he dropped all the salad forks. Leo chased the man into a closet, then slammed the door shut and locked him inside. It was very well done. He pretended to be a ghost. The sound of the door woke Jane, who called the police and roused her mother. A squad car came and hauled the man off to jail, and that was that. "Thanks," said Jane. "You're welcome," said Leo. "I'm glad I could help." "But Leo," said Jane, "if you're my imaginary friend, how did you scare that robber?" Leo looked down at the carpet. "Jane, I told you a lie. I am a ghost. I said I was your imaginary friend, but I'm not. I am just your real friend." "Oh," said Jane. "Well, that's even better." And they went to the kitchen to have mint tea and honey toast at midnight. The end. There he goes. A sweet story about Leo, a ghost. Maybe let's try one of our experiments first before we do our last silly story, shall we? This one is about disillusion and dissolving. We're going to see what happens. We're going to kind of take these orange Skittles. Can you see this okay? We're going to make a pumpkin out of them. We're going to line them up on the edge of the plate, around the edge of the plate. Got too many in one spot here. It'd be easier if I made a flatter place, wouldn't it? Let's move this pumpkin over here. Okay. Okay. Just around the edge. And then let's put some green Skittles at the top, right, for the stem. What do you think? Like that? Does that look like a pumpkin? You guys see that okay? Okay. Now, I'm going to pour some warm water right in the middle here, right in the middle of the plate. And I'm going to try to make sure this is nice and level. And we're going to see if the colors maybe dissolve and make a pretty picture. Right in the middle. I'm trying to pour in the middle, but this measuring cup is not the greatest. What's happening? Okay, I see. Can you guys see the orange and the green starting to show? Ooh. Ooh, I see the green swirling and the orange swirling. That's plenty of water, right? Woo! It's a little hard to show you. I don't know. Hopefully you can see that. See the pumpkin we made with the hot water and the Skittles? We dissolved the color off of the orange and green Skittles and we made our own pumpkin. How pretty. If we could keep that level, that would be good. Oops. There we go. Pretty. We'll watch it continue while we read our last story. Let's see, this one is a silly one by Terry Border, and it's called Scaredy Snacks. And there's a little trick at the end. You gotta watch for this one. Look at the Skittles are turning white now. Scaredy Snacks. Well, it was cleaning day at the snack cabinet and everyone was hard at work. The Chip is mopping and the Cracker is washing the windows and Girl Scout Cookie is scrubbing something. Oh, more Girl Scouts. And here we have three other people here. Let's see, they're the main characters of our story. But Sprinkles didn't feel like cleaning at all. Instead, she wanted to welcome Dr. Nuttenstein, the new neighbor who had moved in next door. Word on the kitchen counter was that he was a little bananas. So here's Sprinkle and Doodle and Pretzel. But Sprinkles didn't care. She was a tough cookie, and she convinced her friends Doodle and Pretzel to come along. Dr. Nuttenstein, mad scientist. One of the doors to the creepy old house wasn't quite closed, and when they knocked, it swung wide open. Creak! Hello, called Sprinkles. Is anybody home? All they heard was silence. Sprinkles stopped to think. Let's just put our welcome card inside. They made Dr. Nuttenstein a welcome card. This place smells moldy, like my cousin Gorgonzola, said Doodle once they got inside. Gorgonzola is a kind of cheese, right? That's kind of stinky, but it's delicious. It's twisted, said Pretzel. Ha ha. And not in a good way. This Dr. Nuttenstein seems rotten. Aw, stop acting like baby food, said Sprinkles. Then they heard the door creak again. Creak! Someone was coming. That must be Dr. Nuttenstein, whispered Pretzel. Oh, I think that's what a mad scientist looks like, whispered Cheese Doodle. Sprinkles didn't say anything. It looks like a mad scientist, doesn't it? Ooh, he's got the wild hair and the goggles. They watched as Dr. Nuttenstein used blenders and choppers. He pushed buttons, he flipped switches, and then a loud zap. It's alive, shouted Dr. Nuttenstein. The three friends realized that they were in a terrible pickle. It's a monster cookie, whispered Pretzel. A cookie monster, moaned Doodle. A peanut butter biscuit beast, gasped Sprinkles. How big it is. Just then, Dr. Nuttenstein looked down at the floor. Who made this mess? He asked his cookie creation. We'll have to teach them a lesson. That nutty doctor is going to find us, whispered Cheese Doodle. He could turn me into a grilled cheese doodle. I feel like crying, sobbed Pretzel, and then I'll be soggy. I'm so scared I might lose all my sprinkles, said Sprinkles. Aha! Dr. Nuttenstein shouted. The trio froze like popsicles. The doctor studied them carefully and then, slowly and quietly, said, Come with me. He searched through his gruesome tools. Sprinkles and her friends were horrified. They were petrified. They were dizzy with fear. Then Dr. Nuttenstein spoke his nightmarish words. Take these brooms and get busy, he said. I want this place spotless. Oh no, cried the snacks. They tried to get out of the other cleaning job, didn't they? But as they cleaned, they found out that if they worked together, it wasn't so bad. So when Sprinkles took a break and didn't come back, Doodle and Pretzel were pretty upset. They went home to let her know. After waving goodbye to the snacks, Dr. Nuttenstein and his creature friend got ready for dinner. But it turned out that the creature wasn't hungry at all. Because sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. A little bit sneaky there. That's a tricky ending, isn't it? Let's do zoom, zoom, and then let's do another science experiment, shall we? A little chemistry, a little more chemistry. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. Woo, it's hard with a pumpkin on it. If you want to take a trip, climb aboard my rocket ship. Zoom, 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 we're going to the moon. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Can you imagine shooting a pumpkin to the moon? I think it would make a mess when it fell back down, wouldn't it? Okay, let's try making a pumpkin volcano, right? See if I can do this without spilling my other pumpkin here. Not too bad. I'll get rid of these. Okay. Could use a little more levelness, couldn't we? Okay. What we have here is pumpkin. Right? And I already made it, you know, cut the top off and I cleaned it out so we have a space to put our stuff. Okay. And we're going to put in, oh, I think we've already measured this. How nice. Okay, we're going to put in some baking soda, which is a base. In chemistry, we call this a base. There's two types of matter. No, that's not quite right. Anyway, a base. And we're going to put two tablespoons of baking soda in there. I think it's all. Okay. And then in chemistry, if you mix a base with an acid, and vinegar is an example of an acid, then it creates carbon dioxide, which is a gas. And a gas, you can't see it necessarily, or in this case, you can't see it or smell it, but it makes a reaction. Okay, and so that we can, oh shoot, I forgot to bring my dish soap. I'll be right back. Okay. So that we can see it better, we're going to put a little bit of soap in there. And then we'll put some little coloring in there. We're going to put in some blue and some yellow. When you mix blue and yellow, what happens? You're right. Should make green. We'll see. It'll look like a pumpkin stem, right? Okay. Are we ready for the pumpkin volcano? Let's see what happens. I better get this out of the way too. I'm gonna start pouring this vinegar, which is an acid, on top of that base baking soda. And we'll see what happens. I hear it. You probably can't hear it yet. Woo! It's bubbling. I see it. I see it. Here it comes. Look at that. We mixed a base and an acid, and we made carbon dioxide a gas, and it's mixed with the soap and the food coloring. You can't see the food coloring too well, can you? You know, not science experiments don't always turn out perfectly, but here it comes. I see a little bit of yellow there. What do you think? Kind of cute. Not very dramatic, but cute. All right. Let's do our goodbye song, and I want to remind you that on Halloween on Saturday, 3:30 to 5 at the store, I will be there, and of course I will be wearing a mask and my costume, and I would love to see whoever's available to come and say hi and get a little trick-or-treat. That would be great. All right, let's sing our goodbye song. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Thanks for joining me.